Today we're going to start installing some lateral lines off of our main line here. As you can see, this needs to be cleaned up. We're going to have to replace some saddles. I mean, if you look at this, it might be hard to see on camera, but this connector is actually bent, probably as a result of being torn off of a tree during our storm. But what I have here is I have some new lateral line, never used, nice and clean and fresh. I have some old lateral line that I'm going to use. What I'm going to do is use some of this to put around the trees on the ends. I like to use these termination loops, whatever they're called. They're used for the end of a lateral line, and they kind of have a cinch to them, so you can tighten them. So you put the lateral line through it, you go around on the tree, and then you connect, and then you can put your drop right here, and then the sap goes in, it goes around, and it goes back. The problem that I find with these things is that this part, number one, it has to be sloped downwards for gravity to work in your favor. But the biggest detriment to these is that this part is the part the squirrels like to chew on. They don't really climb out on your lines much that are, off the tree, but this part they definitely get into. And so what I do instead is I just terminate it. There's some frozen sap in there. I terminate it, and then I actually use a wire around the end of the tree. That way, if the squirrels chew on it, I don't really care. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I got a few tools with me. I have some clippers to clip the tube. These work really good. I have my wire and my wire cutters. What I have here is a joining tool similar to what I was talking about in a different video. The video about splicing a 3/4 inch main line together. They have a bigger version of this that has 2 clamps on both sides. You clamp down and then you bring the pieces together. Now we opted to use the hot water method, but this tool is a little bit different. This is for joining or forcing your lateral lines. This is a 5/16 line. I put the thing in, put the line in, and then I can join pieces and force them in like this. I'm not going to do it right now, but it's pretty handy. You use this thing as a spreader. You push it in, it kind of spreads out the end here, and then it makes it a little bit easier to push that in. So I do recommend getting one of these. I don't think I could do the work that I'm about to do without these. It makes it so much easier and a lot faster, especially when you're going through the woods and you're trying to do a lot of these. So I'm going to use these and I'm going to enjoy it. What I usually do, I haven't done this in a few years, so it's going to take me a little bit to get back into the flow of things. But usually what I'll do is I'll pick a tree that's the furthest away from my main line that I want to go to, and then I'll kind of map out in my head how I want to get from that tree to the main line and incorporate as many other trees as possible. So when I look from right here, I see this big one right here, and then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other smaller trees. I guess this small one back here looks like it's a little dead on top. So I'm going to try to figure out how I can get over here. I have 2 saddles right there. I am interested in that tree over there, which will take a little bit. It's going to take a lot of line to get over there and back. And obviously with the lateral line, I want it to slope down. So on that tree over there, I'm probably going to be 7 feet off the ground to come over here. And then of course I want this tree. It's got a little bit of damage up top, but I think it'll be all right. And then I have a couple other trees over here that I'm going to work on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our tools. We're gonna go over here. Try not to fall in the rock wall. I think we're gonna start working right here. Okay. One of the things you want to be cautious of is you don't want any more bends in the line than you need, because believe it or not, inertia from around those bends can hinder the flow of the sap. Might seem unusual because you're just talking about a liquid going through a tube, but it's, from what I learned in a couple of my classes that I took on how to do this, that's a real thing. So again, we're shooting to be above the main line. So I'm gonna put it right about here. It's not super high up, but it's there. And then we'll just cut this. And we'll take an end piece. Maybe. Tie it on here, just for temporarily for now. We'll grab our tubing. This stuff does tend to get a little out of sorts because it's wound up. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start here. We'll just temporarily set it there. We're gonna go around these trees, over here, and oh, I fell out. Try to find ourselves right here. So we'll have one bend in it, but that'll be fine. So we're gonna have, this is gonna be a drop here. Get our little tool, spread it. I want the drop to go down just for drainage purposes. And of course, I shouldn't even have put that on there. That's silly. Put it on. Done. Okay, so now just tighten this up real quick. So we're gonna want to drop here. It's kind of a small tree, but I'm desperate. So the first thing we do is we cut it. And we put our next one, spread it. I'm gonna stop talking so much because after I do, oops, that's terrible. Let's see if we can get it on there without destroying it any more than I already did. That is one thing you gotta, if you have it sticking out too much on the tube, then it has a tendency to bend like that. So that was totally my fault. But you have to get used to just knowing what side you need to be on. I mean, I can't imagine the pros who do this all day, like how fast they can go through the woods. Nowhere near what I'm doing. So I'm gonna have a tap here. And we're just gonna move down. We're gonna do, I think we're gonna do 3 here. I have a ton of these. Thing is, you want to be pretty tight too. Find myself in interesting places. Somebody's gonna see this video and be like, you know, you're doing that the hard way. I'd love for you to tell me how to do this better, because this does get pretty monotonous after a while. So just a short one. In fact, I'm just gonna do one more short one, save myself a whole second. Gonna do, I don't actually need to use this thing. Sometimes I don't. The important thing is to make sure that the lateral line is going straight through and that the drop is on the perpendicular, because you don't want to interrupt the flow. Don't want to have inertia. So we'll do this. And then we have our other end over here. We will so there's that. Make sure we can kind of rotate these things a little bit when they're in there. Make sure everything's facing up. A pain switching back and forth. These things are amazing. Once they are on, you can pull on this thing like crazy, and they won't come off. So I got 3 right here. Kind of wish I didn't have that stabbing into the tree, but whatever. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm wondering if it would be wise to, well, let's make our way over to this. We're gonna use this one. We're gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it a little long just because I need to come back. I'm wondering if it would be wise to just go around this tree here. That way I don't have 2 trees touching the line and have, you know, a squirrel have 2 places to chew on. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll take an end piece, an end hook, I don't have very many of these. But it's gonna pull on it a little bit. We can always trim them. We're gonna, you gotta pay attention on these. I've made this mistake before. It has a little clip on it. It clips on like that, goes in like that. Nice and straight. Push it in. Just like that. We have a lateral line. I kind of don't like this tree here, this tree brand. It's gonna be rubbing up against it all season as the wind blows, so I might come back and cut that down later. Or just, actually I have snippers. Why didn't I think of that before? Okay. It's not as tight as I like, but it's gonna be good. So that's one, two, three, four, five. 5 taps. All right, what's next? We have one here, which we might utilize this guy for. I don't know. Let's go figure it out. Got a couple trees there. Maybe I should do that one. I wonder if this blue one I have here is long enough. Maybe I could just use that. Oh, wait. Sometimes you can feel chew marks, but not today. Okay. So, same process. Different tree. This one's gonna be quick because we're just putting an end on it. Oh, wrong one. I don't really like to do single lateral lines, but what are you gonna do? That it's kind of interesting. If we can get this thing in here. There we go. Set that down. Put the wire around it. Since I'm doing it this way, you do kind of lose your ability to tighten this up later, because the way this is, you can actually tighten it up once the tube is already on. So it's actually kind of smart to leave a little bit of space just in case you want to tighten it later, because you can continue to move towards the tree. I mean, that's 6 inches or so. So keep that in mind, and then we'll reuse this guy over here. This time I'm going to be a little bit more careful when I'm cutting this, so I don't want to have extra. So we'll just tie it right about here. I'm glad it went all the way back. That's nice. Got my hook going the right way. I guess I could put it over here too, but I want it to go downhill. That looks like it's downhill. I'm not sure if I want to go all the way over there yet. I don't have that much tube. I'm gonna buy more this week. If I run out of tube and I only did one tree with it, that would be a little bit of a disappointment. I never noticed that there's a red mark on that tree there. I think that if I did like 3 trees over there, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we'll do, there's no saddles down there. So what we'll do is we'll start here. I wonder if I could do there's like 3, 4, 5 trees in there. Wonder if my neighbor would care if I went that far up. Let's see if I have enough tubing for all that. It's kind of a long way to go. It's just so many. All the way up this hill.